a rosette, okay? And the nice thing about these boards, they have these little lines in there, so you could. I just thought of this. Well, you could do it so you could pipe within the line, so you could try and get them the same, because that's what you'd like to do, is try and get it all even, all the same. So for the rosette, what I do is I start pressing, applying pressure to the bag, and then I turn, and then I stop, and then I pull away, like we were doing with the cookies. Yes, but Chef, we were doing a little bit more round, so can you put the jam in, okay? So let's try it again. So I'm applying pressure, turning, and then as I'm coming around, so it's like making a very tight C. As I'm coming around, I'm decreasing the pressure. And that's how you'll get when it comes here and it starts to taper.
Okay.
Because that's really, with piping and working with a pastry bag or with a cone, it's all about pressure control, okay? And I only squeeze with my dominant hand. I'm right-handed. This hand, it just guides it or steadies my hand. I don't, squeeze with two hands. I just do it with, Chef will do it with his left hand. He's left-handed, but I'm right-handed. So again, what I'll see some people doing, myself included, you start going like this, and you can keep going and going and going up,
cool.
I mean, you can do that, but
yeah.
that's really not a rosette.
Yeah, it's not the idea, but it's
no.
looking.
And then, so let's put a little more.
So what are the more intricate designs that you can do that most people, like professionals do?
You want to get to the hard stuff?
Yeah, I just want to see what kind we might do in the future.
Basically, can you show off?
Yes. yes. That's exactly what I mean, Chef.
And here, let me show you. So I'll show you now the shell. Okay, you ever see the shell border?
Yeah,
Shell. Okay. So I'm going to go across here, and I'll just use one of these lines as a guide. So I start pressing. I go back a little bit, and then I go forward. And then as I go forward, I release the pressure. So I get kind of a taper, and then it starts coming down. It's not. I'm not going to get a great tail because of the shortening, and the shortening's a little thicker. But what we could do is put them together like this.
See, I always wondered that. If it was continuous or not.
Yeah, me too.
They have a video on YouTube. One of the chef instructors goes through and does like 6 or 7 different piping things. If you go to the Cordon Bleu YouTube.
Yes. So what you want to try to do is get the bottom or the back wide, and then it tapers off to a point, okay? And what we try to do is get them all the same size, okay? And so what I'm doing is when I'm piping, I'm going back a little bit, and then I'm going forward, okay? So I pipe, I go a little bit back and then forward. Pipe, forward. And see, all I'm doing is applying pressure with this hand. This one, I'm just holding the bag steady. Okay. Then what you could do is do something called a reverse shell, which is kind of combining the rosette and a shell. And what I do there is I start piping, I go around, and then I come down like this, and I release pressure. So very similar to what you were making the cookies
Okay.
with,
The
right?
question mark.
Yeah.
Except we were doing it this way, and I'm doing it across. Now, that's going that way. Now, here, I go the opposite way. I go this way, and then I go down.
Oh, zigzagging it.
And then I go this way. Okay? And then I go this way.
It's like a
I like that
braid.
one.
And then I go this way.
That one's dope.
So I have something like that.
That's pretty cool.
So that's kind of combining this, but we're going one way and then the other way. So we're going back and forth, back and forth.
That's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to print out some copy sheets and put them on these pieces and wrap and do it at home.
You can take a picture every time, okay? For that. You can add on by the sample one, at least. And during the class, after, now we will be different design.
Then you could do, what if we were to do, this I'll sometimes do a side of the cake, round. I'll do a fleur-de-lis. So I'll do it right here. So I'm gonna pipe a shell, but I'm gonna bring it straight down. Okay, so I pipe and then go straight down like that. Okay? Then I'm gonna go like that,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna go like that. And that's what you call a classic French shape. That's fleur-de-lis. So what I'll do is I'll make smaller ones on the side of a cake, and then I take frosting and I pipe strings that go all the way around
Okay.
and touch those.
Where is your finish?
And then, let's see.
Is it ready? To put on my brownies? Yeah.
You have time now.
I'm not. I'm gonna wait.
And sometimes some people they'll kind of jiggle the bag, and we could make, I start out with a little bit of pressure, then I increase the pressure, make it thicker, and then I decrease it, okay? This is actually a good exercise to teach you about bag pressure, putting more pressure on and easing it off and trying to get it as even as possible. So I can start by going like this, and then I start to increase, and then I decrease, so I get a puff, okay? So I go a little bit, then I increase, and then I decrease to get a puff.
Right?
It looks like a caterpillar.
They're like little insects,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Family.
caterpillar. Like a fuzzy one.
Actually, I took a class one time with this decorator. There's a piping method that comes out of England. It's really old school with royal icing, and it's all this over piping, and you do a lot of that stuff. And it's piping on top of piping and on top of piping. And you use like a tip that's, I have some, it's like, one is really small. They sell some that are like, 0.0. It's so small, and you have to put the royal icing through like some nylon so you don't have any kind of a lump or anything, because it won't go through the hole.
Yeah.
And then you can pipe really, I can't do something that delicate, but talk about patience, just sitting there,
Oh, I
But-
scream. I totally scream from losing if I mess up.
Well, yeah, because once it's on, it doesn't come off either.
Oh, I know, right?
So then, and you do this more in, so once you get like, you know, a little bit of pressure control, I'll do this with a bag with a small tip, not a star tip, but I could do it with a star tip. You can start making like little scrolls. And I could start out by making, like, say, a kind of like a reverse shell like this. So I go like this, I decrease the pressure, then I go like this,
Oh, that's cool.
no? And then I could go something like this. No? And like this.
Oh, that's cool.
You could do something where, like I did, you know, I could make like a little rosette, and then I could make a reverse shell. I think that's not a very good one. Another rosette, a reverse shell, a couple like that, rosette. You know, so what I could do is like start to, you know, around the cake, it doesn't all have to be, you know, the same. I could like combine the two, but it'd be a good idea. Don't look at that part. But like, you know, you have the two rosettes, and then you separate them with a reverse shell, and you could go all around the cake, and you could do, you know, it really is endless. Once you get basic techniques, you just, you know, you could like create like almost anything that, you know, that's like appealing, that you would think would be appealing. The main thing is, and I know people hate it, I don't like it either, to be honest with you, practice. You know, the only reason that I could like